I'm Alan Murray, the CEO of Fortune Media, and I'm here with Devgan, who is the CEO of Cadence, which has earned a spot on this year's 100 Best Companies to Work For at Fortune. Congratulations, Anirudh.
Thank you, Alan. It's great to be included in this very prestigious list and great to talk to you today.
Good to talk to you. So, as you know better than I do, you are in an industry where the competition for talent these days is fierce, probably fiercer than it's ever been. And this getting on this list is a pretty rigorous process. How did you do it? What are the things you do to make Cadence such an attractive place to work?
Yes, Alan, that's a great point and a great question. As you know, talent is critical in any business and is super critical in high tech and especially software business because, people drive the creation of all these products and solutions. So for us, I think it's critical to have a sense of purpose and a sense of impact to the community through our products and services. And I think the whole culture and impact to the community and the industry at large is central to hiring and retaining, employees.
Can you give an example of powerful impact of the sort that makes people want to work for you?
Absolutely. As you know, we design software that makes the design of semiconductors and electronic systems possible. So our software is used to design all aspects of electronic systems and semiconductors that you see around you. And one key impact is on power consumption and climate. Like we have a new product that can improve power consumption in a lot of cases by 10%. So that's a huge effect on power consumption and climate. And that's something that gets me excited and get our employees excited to make a kind of a pervasive impact on the electronic systems that are used throughout society.
You're helping solve big problems.
Yes, that's our goal. That's what gets me excited. And also we work with all kinds of customers in all kinds of verticals around the world, the who's who of electronics and semiconductor design. And that's the great thing that's possible through this Cadence platform.
Anirudh, one of the things that you've done that I find very interesting is the Cadence Giving Foundation. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us what that is?
Yes, Alan, I'm very excited about the Cadence Giving Foundation. Every year we used to do some community efforts, but now that we are getting bigger, we want to take that to the next level. So we set up this Cadence Giving Foundation with a good grant in the beginning, and we will add to it over time. And that allows us to do, 5-6 times more than we used to do before in terms of financial support. And the areas of focus, we have 3 key areas of focus. The first one is DE&I, diversity, equity, and inclusion, which is critical for us and for our community. The second one is climate and sustainability. Like I mentioned before, our products can make a big difference in power consumption and simulation and these things. So climate is a key focus of the foundation. And then the third key focus is education. Whether it's at the high school level or college level, at different kind of colleges, to promote STEM. And so these are the 3 key areas of focus for the Cadence Giving Foundation.
And how is Cadence addressing the diversity, equity, and inclusion challenge, which is particularly a challenge in your industry, in the software industry?
Absolutely. And, we made some progress over the years, but I would say not enough. So just to give you an example, our women population has probably gone up as a percentage, 16% over the last 5 years, but still it's not that high. It's only in the mid-20s, which is probably similar or slightly better than other companies in the industry, but of course is much lower than the overall population, which is 50% or slightly more than 50%. So for that's a critical component. And of course, Latinx and Black hiring is a critical component. So we want to have certain programs that give clear incentives for our management team to improve that. So the other thing that I'm proud of that we have done recently, we have a Cadence culture modifier that affects the bonus of top 100 leaders in the company. Okay. So of course, we want to promote everybody to do more diverse hiring, but we also want to incentivize them to do so. And so 20% of their bonus is affected by how well they do in things like D&I. Okay. And we have specific metrics of hiring more women, hiring more Black and Latinx employees, retaining, it's not just hiring, retention is critical. So that's one way, Alan, that we want to put some specific metrics to encourage all the key leaders to do that and put some more focus on it going forward.
And you mentioned education. What is Cadence doing in the education area?
Yes, that's a very broad question, and I think there are several aspects to it. One is that we have increased our university interaction, okay, and that has multiple parts to it. One is working with the top universities which are historically good in our field, okay. So places like MIT, CMU, Stanford, and Berkeley, and we have set up 2 chairs at Carnegie Mellon. I think 1 chair is at MIT. We have 2 chairs at Berkeley, and we have 1 chair at Stanford. Okay, and we have done more kind of funding of direct programs. We try to recruit more from these top engineering colleges, but I think it goes much beyond that. So apart from like traditional colleges that somebody like Cadence would work at, and these are super critical, right, to make sure we get the best people from the engineering colleges we traditionally worked with and software colleges. But we also expanded to, for example, we have a special program to target traditional Black colleges. So we started with these engineering colleges, and then we expanded it to Black colleges or more diverse colleges to make sure we have a sample throughout. But I think the university hiring is critical, and the good thing about that also is the universities recently the gender ratio is much better than in the past. So if you look at these top universities, women are close to 40-50% of graduating class. So it also helps not just to get new talent and, of course, great talent, but also get more diverse talent. So I think university program is critical. And then we also have programs to enable our software to be used at the universities and several other things to encourage them.
Really impressive, Anirudh. So, we've just been through this extraordinary experiment in remote work. Everybody, because of the pandemic, everybody went home, who in your industry at least, went home for a couple of years. And now people are trying to figure out when to bring them back, whether to bring them back, what the future of work looks like. At Cadence, what is the future of work going to look like?
Yes, Alan, we're trying to figure that out. And first of all, what I'm pleasantly surprised by, it's true for a lot of other people, is how well we were able to work from home in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And, we were worried about, especially on the customer side, our sales and support function, and also the R&D productivity. So overall, we have done pretty well. Okay. So given that, we want to be more conservative in terms of going back, because we want to make sure, we give a lot of flexibility to employees, because I think they really value that. For example, we have Cadence recharge days, giving people time off. So as we go back to work, I think right now we are keeping it flexible for people to come back. Over the middle term, I would think most of our employees will be in some hybrid fashion, maybe come to work 2-3 days and stay home the remaining days. So I think since we are doing well and we are able to do well from home or from remote location, the main thing is we want to be flexible and we want to listen to employees and then adapt along the way. That's the way I would say it, Alan. We don't have a formula in mind, as long as we are employee friendly and flexible and still, of course, satisfy our business goals. That's how we will.
And you're not worried about maintaining that strong culture you've built at Cadence without a lot of in-person interaction?
Oh, that's a very valid point. No, it's very critical to maintain the culture. But I'm feeling that 2-3 days of work, of coming to work and having more, gatherings should be enough to maintain that culture. See, I don't think it is required everybody to be at work every day. Now we will learn as we go along. And I think what is important is when people come together and have meetings and have brainstorming. So I'm guessing 2-3 days a week should be enough for that. But we are very cognizant of course, the culture implication. And I think people are anxious to come back, just not anxious to come back 5 days a week. That's
and not anxious to be told what they have to do.
exactly. See, I think, Alan, what you said is super critical. What I found is high performers and high achievers and people who are self motivated never like to be told what to do. So, so we want to maintain that energy and give them flexibility. And I think 2 to 3 days a week should be more than enough, is my current assessment.
Yeah. So, Anirudh, as you know, companies really compete fiercely to get on this 100 best companies to work for list. It means a lot to them, particularly at a time when talent is so scarce and fought over. What would your advice to other companies be to create the kind of culture and the kind of employee engagement and emotional attachment that you have? What would your advice to them be?
Well, Alan, we are still learning. We always want to keep getting better, even though we have done well. I think there is still room we can improve ourselves. Okay. But what we want to focus on, and I think this is true for other companies, is of course, listen to the customers. It's very important to be customer first and customer centric. I think listen to the employees. If you really ask them, I think they will tell you all you need to know. And I think really interact with the employees, and it's very, because these, they have a lot of good ideas we get from the employees. And I think have a sense of purpose and a mission, which is beyond yourself and involve the community. If I have to summarize, I think if we can do these three things well ourselves, and we have still a lot of room to improve, I think that's what I recommend for ourselves and anybody else who might be listening.
Anirudh, fascinating to talk with you today. And congratulations again on making it onto Fortune's 100 Best Companies to Work For list. That's a real accomplishment. Clearly, you deserve it. Great to meet you.
Thank you, Alan. And it's great to be on this list. And we will try to keep getting better to stay on the list. And for anybody listening, if you want to come join Cadence, please let us know.
Always recruiting.
Yes. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.